President-elect Trump naming former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi as his pick for Attorney General of the United States. She's a prosecutor with nearly 20 years of experience, including 8 years as Florida's top law enforcement official. She was one of the lawyers who defended Trump during his first Senate impeachment trial. And the president-elect is saying this: Pam will refocus the DOJ to its intended purpose of fighting crime and making America safe again. I have known Pam for many years. She is smart and tough and is an America First fighter who will do a terrific job as Attorney General. But not everyone is happy about the pick. One MSNBC guest claims Bondi is, quote, dangerous because she is qualified.
Yeah.
Pam Bondi is exactly what I was saying in the last segment that we should all fear, because she's competent. We may not agree with her ideologically, but she actually knows how to do this job. So if anyone on the Democratic side or anyone who cared about liberty or justice was thinking, well, maybe Matt Gaetz will screw this up and that'll give us some time. No, Pam Bondi knows what she's doing.
Why does one fear competency? It's quite a question. You know, Emily, I've known Pam for a very long time. We're both from Florida. She is wonderful. She's a fighter. She has this really kind veneer about her, but within, she's a fighter, and she knows how to do the job.
And she's accomplished a significant amount, which I just wanted to point out a couple things because it's directly relative to why she will be so successful as the United States Attorney General. So when she was the AG of Florida, by the way, Florida used to have, they were called pill mills. And of the top 100 illicit physicians that were participating in this in the country, 98 were in Florida.
Wow.
Within 1 year, 0 were. And the CDC at that time called it an unprecedented national achievement. Essentially, she came to the helm, she targeted what needed to be done, and she got it done, including reducing opioid deaths by over half because of a holistic approach. And think about that as we've discussed on this couch, the incompetence and the lack of success in so many other Democrat states. Here's someone that came in and effectively didn't say, this is how it's always been done. She said, this is a need. I'm attacking it with a huge constellation of resources and creativity, and she got it done. And the second thing that I found so impressive, she overhauled the state's Medicaid fraud unit, and she created a different class, essentially legally, of dealing with synthetic opioids and marijuanas and drugs, meaning she creatively changed the law to account for creative changing drugs. All the time we talk about how on this couch the law has not caught up to technological advances in drugs and things happening in real life. Pam Bondi was ahead of the game there in Florida and accounted for it. And by overhauling a bloated part of the agency, she got the job done even more. So if this happens nationally, bravo, and I know it will.
So there's an interesting backstory to her time enforcing the law against drugs, and it's who she appointed for that position. So I want to bring in the voice of the Palm Beach State Attorney. This is someone who's a Democrat, someone who challenged Pam Bondi. And listen to what happened.
I ran against her for Attorney General of Florida in 2010, but I lost in the Democratic primary, and we became friends on the campaign trail. So after she won the general election, she hired me to be her drug czar because I was campaigning on fighting the opioid epidemic. So when she hired me, it was controversial because the Republicans did not want her to hire a former state senator, a Democrat, to be this drug czar position. And Republicans got in her face. There was one party chair who got in her face, put a finger in her face and said, how dare you do this? And she wasn't going to take that. She doesn't take guff from anyone. And she went right back at him and put a finger in his face. So she is very loyal, and she is not a natural partisan.
Tammy, I find that fascinating because you think a party chair came up to her from her party saying, why are you hiring this guy who's a Democrat? She hired who was best for the job,
Right.
stood up for that, put the state of Florida first.
Yeah, and this is what you get when you move slightly out of the realm of the entrenched elite, where there's a pattern, where there's a behavior that's expected, rituals and habit. So you have people who are tremendously accomplished, who know what they're doing, but because they're not, entrenched in that framework, they do naturally think out of the box. That's what all of his appointees really represent, is individuals who are answerable to the American people, whom he has seen. Look, she took on that first impeachment dynamic when all the focus was to make it too dangerous to support the president. And she was still right there. I will remind everyone that she also benefited from Sarah Palin's endorsement when she ran for Attorney General. So it's that kind of outsider framework that I think has made a big difference here. And you're going to see that as the Attorney General. It's going to be fabulous.
So you have Susie Wiles, you have Pam Bondi, you have Linda McMahon, you have Caroline Leavitt, all of which are women, and the list goes on. There are several more women who have been appointed. Pam Bondi took on Mark Cuban, who said Trump doesn't surround himself with smart women. Watch.
That was the greatest gift Mark Cuban could give Donald Trump, I think, by saying something so ignorant and stupid. So I have a message for Mark Cuban from all of us here tonight. Underestimate us. This is going to be fun.
Touche, Dagan.
Yeah, Mark Cuban, he's a steaming sack of possum porridge.
Possum porridge.
That was from the heart. Trump needed a mulligan on the Attorney General pick, and he is now on the green in one shot. Pam Bondi is not only great at her job, she is a great communicator, and it will be interesting to see how the left, the liberals, the Democrats try to destroy this incredibly accomplished woman. However, it will say more about their desperation and their fear of what she will uncover in terms of the rot inside of the Department of Justice, more than it will ever say about the great Pam Bondi.
Todd.
I would just say, think about her track record on drugs, add that to her track record on human trafficking, and then combine that with Tom Homan. That is a recipe for success, and it's going to send the cartels who have been getting rich off of both of those running. That's huge for our country.
Wow, that would be huge to see.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.
Mulligan, mulligan. Veneer, veneer. Illicit, illicit. Bloated, bloated. Take guff from, take guff from. Entrenched, entrenched. Come to the helm, come to the helm. Overhaul, overhaul. Epidemic, epidemic.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.